Sometimes the most important conversation in your life begins the moment everything becomes quiet, not because the world suddenly changes, but because for the first time you can hear yourself. Most of us don't notice how uncomfortable silence has become. We reach for our phones while waiting for a lift. We play music while getting ready. We scroll through social media during lunch. Even before sleeping, we look for one more video, one more notification, one more reason not to sit with our own thoughts. The strange part is, we call it staying connected, but often we are just trying not to feel the quiet. Silence has a way of showing us things we have been avoiding. That's why it can feel uncomfortable. Think about the last time someone didn't reply to your message. Within minutes, the mind starts writing stories. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset? Are they ignoring me? Nothing has actually happened, only silence. Yet, our mind rushes to fill it with answers. We often mistake silence for rejection, when many times it's simply silence. This part is easy to miss. The loudest voice in our life is rarely another person. It is our own mind trying to explain everything, and it doesn't always tell the truth. Silence quietly exposes that. The same thing happens during an argument. Someone says something that hurts us, and our first instinct is to answer immediately, to defend ourselves, to win. But have you ever noticed how different a reply feels after 5 quiet minutes? The words become softer, sometimes fewer. Silence doesn't remove emotions, it gives them somewhere to settle before they decide for us. We usually think strength looks loud, speaking first, having the perfect comeback, always proving a point. But there is another kind of strength that almost nobody talks about, and that is the ability to pause, not because you have nothing to say, because you have realized not every feeling deserves an instant reaction. That's harder than it sounds. Silence also changes the way we listen. In most conversations, we are already preparing our next sentence before the other person finishes speaking. We nod, but our mind is busy building replies. Real listening begins only when that inner noise becomes quieter, and people notice the difference. They feel heard even if you say very little. The funny thing is, silence is often mistaken for weakness. Someone who speaks less is called shy. Someone who doesn't react immediately is seen as unsure. But maybe they are simply choosing their words instead of throwing them into every empty space. There is a quiet confidence in that. Being alone without your phone for even 10 minutes can feel strangely difficult today. Not because 10 minutes is long, but because silence starts asking gentle questions. How are you really feeling? Why are you so tired? What have you been running from? These are not dramatic questions. They are ordinary. We just don't give them enough quiet to be heard. Maybe that's why silence feels powerful. It doesn't force answers, it simply creates enough space for honest ones to appear. And honesty rarely arrives in a noisy room. Tomorrow will still be busy, notifications will return, conversations will continue. The world is not going to become quieter, but maybe for a few moments you can. Sometimes peace is not something you find, it is what finally has a chance to speak when everything else stops.